Oh, God. Hi guys, it's Kaylin here. Welcome back to my channel. Today, as you can tell by the title, I'm going to be explaining the difference between Disney and Pixar. Now, these two companies, let me just say, are some of the biggest movie companies ever that existed. I don't know. And Disney has been around since the 1930s, so it's a big deal, man. It's a freaking big deal. But yeah, so I'm just gonna be mostly explaining it, saying my opinions and things like that. So I'm just gonna start with the basic rundown of Disney. Now, I'm pretty sure everybody knows Disney because there's Disneyland, Disney World, there's so many different Disney movies, and that is that. So Disney is mostly known for their princesses and their movies involving music. They're mostly like musicals. Well-known one, at least, people know the character. It's Peter Pan, but a lot of the classic Disney movies are based off of books, but the books are really deep and dark, unlike the children's movies that you see in theater or that you watched when you were just a tiny little infant thing. And for an example, in Cinderella, for the stepsisters Gisela and Anastasia, what they did is they cut off their feet to fit into the shoe. Some Disney movies do not have a lot of music. Like, let's say the characters don't really sing in it, but they do have music specifically made for the movie. Like, for an example, Wreck-It Ralph. The characters do not sing in this movie, but they do have two songs that were made for it. I know one of them was specifically made for it, I think. They're both called Sugar Rush and When Can I See You Again, from Owl City. And I do not know if When I Can See You Again was already made and they just added into this movie. I'm not for sure on that one, but I know it was put in this movie. So that's that. So some of them don't have music, but most of them have a lot of music, and a lot of them are based off of like princes and princesses, like the old classics that we're all familiar with. And Pixar is, I like to say it's different. I don't say Disney Pixar, sometimes I do, but I mostly say Pixar and Disney. Now, Disney did buy Pixar because they both made a movie together, and then they decided, well, we're gonna buy Pixar, and they made a bunch of movies together ever since till this day, 2018, all in 1995, and I'll say in a minute what their first movie was. And Pixar is one that doesn't really have a lot of music in it, but sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And if they do have music, it's just like a tiny bit. Like, for an example, Coco, this movie, you have to go see. This movie made me cry. Music in this is really good, but also the storyline involves music, so that's why there's a little bit more music in this than some others. But the music in this is really good, really good. It's done well, and there's music in it, but there's not as much music as there would be in Aladdin. Aladdin, almost every single scene, there's a song. And I know that because I've seen that movie so many times. And I know almost every single word to every single song. Prince Ali, you do not know. If you know all the words to Prince Ali, please tell me how, because I cannot hear that in the song. I have to like look up the lyrics. But yeah, this movie is so good. That was a Pixar movie that had the most music in it that I've heard. And I've seen pretty much every single Pixar movie. And Pixar movies, they don't have princes and princesses unless, well, there's Brave, but Merida never got married to a prince. Brave was a completely different, like, princess storyline kind of in there, and it was great. I mean, it was pretty good. but Disney's more of like the lovey-dovey Prince and Princess musical. Pixar, it doesn't have that much music, and it's not all about the lovey-dovey. This one's more of, I don't want to say adventure, but this one has the more like adventure and some other stuff in it. I don't know how to explain it. I'm terrible explaining things, but I will like to say that Pixar and Disney's first movie was, which is my favorite Pixar movie of all time. I'm wearing the shirt right here. It was Toy Story. Toy Story? I freaking love this movie so freaking much. I have all three. I'm so excited for the fourth one next year. Yes. That is basically all for this video. I hope you could understand what I was talking about. Like I said, I was just telling you my opinions and trying to explain the difference between the two, because some people are like, oh, they're the same thing. No, they're not. But it's not as bad as when people say the Lorax is Disney. I did not think people thought that. It is not. I can make a whole other video of what movies people think are Disney movies. So I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you didn't like it, just leave. I don't give a crap what you do. And yeah, I'll see y'all next